It's not necessarily, but there are some Sufis who have walked away from political authority and have suffered, and some Sufis who have worked with political authorities and have been made into exotic characters that whirl around, dance characters. The present whole notion of the Sufi Muslim is more framed in a way to position opponents of other forms of radical Islam. But you have to understand, the guy who killed the governor of Punjab was also a Sufi. He came from that same. So some say very and incorrectly, with some degree of truth, that the Sufis were giving a genuine cover to the atrocities being committed by non-Sufi invading Muslims, and kept them out silent during the genocide of Hindus. However, there were Sufis who were brought to death by Iltutmish and other Turks who refused to even serve the royalty, who, I'm going back to the 11th, 12th century, who refused to get benefits from anyone. The mosque in Delhi, the Nizamuddin Mosque, has a history of the Sufi rejecting the notion of serving political authority. But that's a statement within Islam. The issue remains those Sufis who have yet to condemn Saudi Arabia or Turkey or Pakistan are merely designer peace-loving Muslims. It's a package. It's like entertainment tonight. We have whirling dervishes. Mansur Halaj was a Sufi who proclaimed in Baghdad that Anal Haq, yani I am the truth, I am God. He was beheaded. So there's a tradition of Sufism that you can find in Kabir and Bulleh Shah, those who mocked the mullahs and mocked the whole idea of finding God, searching for God. And he says, you never spent a day searching for God inside yourself. Bulleh Shah says that. But today's Sufis have no connection. The ones meeting in a big conference in Delhi, they would be Urdu-speaking Sufis. There will be no Bengali or Gujarati or Punjabi or Sindhi Sufis. They will keep talking about Ajmer Sharif. That's it. No, they're not words from Quran. This is Mansur Halaj's word, saying, I am the truth. It's a play of words, because Haq is another attribute associated with Rahman, Rahim, is God. So it also means truth. So Mansur Halaj says Anal Haq, and it's a mythology, but even after the Caliph gave him a chance, they chopped off his limbs, just like, India in 47 found its both limbs chopped. I'm always reminded of Mansur Halaj when I think of 1947. His both arms were cut off on a bridge on the Tigris River in Baghdad, and the Caliph said, even now, just recant. Because he was refusing to recant the words Anal Haq. He's a Sufi saint, he's a poet, he's a literary figure. He's mocking political power. His friend is the Caliph. The Caliph is asking him, I will just say sorry and I will let you live. He said, no, I'd rather die for my freedom of expression. He didn't have a revelation, he just said it. In fact, it's widely believed he was an atheist. Widely believed that most Sufis did not believe in God the way the traditional Muslim believes, as the all-powerful, mighty, supreme commander living in the sky that even determines cricket match results. These people were philosophical. They had their roots in Iran and Central Asia and India to a great degree, and that is where the whole concept, tasawwuf, the woolen clothes that they wore, the caps, usse Sufi nikla hai na. Sufi is not the name of some political ideology, it's the name of the cloth, tasawwuf, and the action that related to it. It's a great area of reflection within Islam, but these whirling dancers and dervishes are just entertainment for a weekend. You see, people now put their own names, Darwish, on their own license plate. If you're a Darwish, you wouldn't have a license plate and you wouldn't call yourself Darwish. A Sufi never calls himself Sufi. Today, every Sufi say, I'm a Sufi Muslim. No Sufi ever said he was a Sufi Muslim. There was this Sufi saint somewhere in Sindh. I think Ibn Battuta mentions it in his trials, and he was asked to come to be in the court of the Sultan of Delhi. He told him, get lost. Today, no matter who the Sufi is or the saint is, if he got a call from Prime Minister Modi to sit in his court, he will overdress himself and be sitting at Modi's feet. For not taking the lure of power and money, this guy was punished. I think it is Altamash. I could be wrong, or it must be one of the Balbans who did it. The punishment to him was that the elephant tusks were tied with swords, and the saint was tossed between the elephant's sword-wielding tusk till he was chopped to pieces. That is what Sufism to me is, when you stand up to vicious authority and do not succumb to. So, but that saint didn't say, I'm a Sufi. He prayed the way he wants to pray. There is no exhibition, there is no drama, there is no jaloos, there is no green topi, lal topi, pili topi, there is no danda involved in it. People who are searching for the truth were these people. They happen to be Muslim, they could have been Hindus. It's monotheism. If all the paraphernalia, if it is cut, it is basically Judaism that Muslims follow. It is a variant of Judaism, a revival of Judaism by the Prophet Muhammad. All our stories, all our Quranic revelations, all our biblical stories are from the Old Testament. Whether we talk of Ibrahim, or whether we talk of Noah, or we talk of Moses, it's all from the Old Testament. Muslims don't know this because they don't know what the Old Testament is, right? So when they say, the Quran says that if you kill one man, you kill entire humanity, it's the same, that's in the Torah as well. So essentially, Islam is Judaism planted on Arab pagan culture. It's a derivative of that, like Christianity too is, well, Jesus was a Jew, but it's deeply variant with Judaism because it has the concept of God having a son. Islam is far more closer to, in some ways, to Judaism, and in many ways to Hinduism. The way we do our Hajj is essentially a Hindu ritual of having 7 peras. Yeah, but counterclockwise. That's where we get it wrong. We're moving in reverse. I think we are entering modernity, pre-modern times in recorded history when Muhammad is born, compared to the times of Jesus, which is 700 years earlier, when I don't think I have a right answer to that, or even an answer to that. It doesn't really matter to me, because my Islam comes based in Hinduism, which is that God exists within you and outside you. Many traditionalist Muslims find this as apostasy. They say God is not in you, He's above you. So, but I know many Muslims who, if you ask them, they would say He's everywhere. Not if you're a Muslim. And I don't think there is need, in the times of nation state, there's need for prophets. We are now in the era of human progress where laws are made to be changed. The concept of a law is that it will be changed. We're talking of our religious history where the concept of the Gita is that it cannot be changed. It's not a law book, it's not a manual. The laws of Islam are in fiqh based on Sharia, which are all post-Quran. So obviously they can be entirely rejected. All of Sharia can be done away with, and nothing would change. Perhaps Muslims will become better human beings. I don't think they even read it. Well, to begin with, 50% of Muslims are illiterate. 80% of them can't speak, read or write Arabic. Well, they might be able to read, but they don't understand it. Put that, and the Quran is not in chronological order, nor is there anyone willing to put it in chronology order for fear of his life. So you suddenly have a book in the hands of people who are largely illiterate and largely non-Arabic, unwilling to put it in the right chronological order, and unwilling to accept I'm writing a book which is titled "The Quran as It Was Revealed." Yeah, with exactly chronologically what was happening in China at a certain revelation, what was happening in India at that time, what was happening in Egypt, what was happening in Yemen, because Muslims have to read the Quran in some historical context as to when was a certain verse revealed. What was Prophet Muhammad doing meditating? Is meditation allowed in Islam? If the Prophet meditated, why can't we? I think they're frustrated with themselves. They don't like what they see in the mirror. It hurts them. Some mullahs are very good. I know Imam Hamza Yusuf, who I don't agree, he's in California based. He's a wonderful guy. I know other imams from Trinidad, Tobago, who have recognized the nation state. They are comfortable. Maulana Wahiduddin over here is a wonderful guy in Delhi. I know many imams who know that there's something rotten in the body politic of Islamdom, and that needs to be, that tumor has to be taken out. The tumor is male misogyny, the tumor is anger at not being able to invent anything in the last 300 years, not being able to contribute to human civilization. Well, Kerala would be is an unfortunate place because the Communist Party of India, during I think Mr. Namboodiripat's time, created a district with a Muslim majority as a duplicate mini Pakistan to cater to the interests of the Muslim League vote, which was a coalition government in the, I think in the early 60s when Mr. Chuta Menon was Chief Minister. I'm not too sure, but during that time, Muslim League was allies with the CPM, CPI. And if you have that alliance, do a give and take. And but before that, the Communist Party in 46 had the Adhikari doctrine recognizing the division of India as a good thing for working people. So there's a lot of blood that is on the hands of the CPI. They need to be defeated comprehensively on a battlefield, but they also have to be defeated on the battleground of ideology, in which they have no opposition. You know, most non-Muslims do not wish to hear about Islam from people who are not ugly. I'm too good looking to be considered authentic Muslim. The tenet of religion Islam is that the whole world has to convert to Islam, and it's the duty of every Muslim to give dawah or dawat, and the 3-point plan of how to go about it. And the Islamic State, whatever it is, has to tell, for example, Pakistan has to tell India, convert to Islam. If India says no, then Pakistan has to tell India, start paying jizya to us. And India says no, at that time Pakistan has to decide, can we win against a war against India or not. If we can't, we wait till we have the right number of nukes and then we'll attack. This is not a far-fetched idea. This is the doctrine of Pakistan and the military's motto, the Nasru min Allahi Fathun Kareeb, is the war cry of the domination of Islam, asking God to give us quick victory over the kuffar. This is what they pray in the Friday prayers all over India. Oh God, give us victory, give Muslims victory over the Qawmul Kafirin. That's you. Well, it's an old belief, you know, Hagog and Magog are from the, I think, the Old Testament, but it's also in the Quran, and they try every day to come up, break open earth and come up, and the earth collapses on them. And one day they will. Yes. There are other aspects. It's like the Iranian president goes to a well every Friday to look for an imam who supposedly went underground 1200 years ago. They're waiting for him to come out of a well. You may find it funny, but the people who believe in it are waiting for him to come to lead them into battle. No, that's not in the Quran. This is Qayamat. It has already happened. We are living in Qayamat. When 12-year-old girls are being raped and killed and beheaded, where 8-year-old boy is beheaded because he was watching television. You know, young girls who do not want, whose parents don't allow them to go on a prom date or have a boyfriend, but are okay if that same girl goes to Syria and has 5 husbands or comes back pregnant. So something, this is Qayamat. As long as Mr. Bukhari doesn't listen to the Beatles, he will not understand what world he lives in. If he doesn't know what is rap, he doesn't know who's Elvis Presley, he doesn't know Shami Kapoor dance kaise karta hai, he has no idea of the gangs of Wasipur, and he's living in old, let him live there, let him postpone the payments of the electricity bills that the masjid has not paid. Muhammad would not recognize who are these imams. The word didn't exist. Maulana is no word. Khalifa is no word. The Prophet would be shocked. Oh, how did these happen? It's a whole gang of people who are intellectually dishonest, maybe deluded, maybe honestly dishonest. It's possible. You know, a person who listens, hears voices in his head, a schizophrenic really genuinely hears voices. Maybe they hear voices in their head that tell them that you are right. I don't know where they come up with this. %50 of us are illiterate anyway. Religion has a great role to play to cater to the emotional wounds of any people. That's the essence of religion, is to, number one, to be a moral compass, but rather the role that it plays is that the suffering people of humanity, there's something that keeps them, gives them hope, gives them peace. So religion has a role to play, but political religion has an absolutely fascist streak. Whether it is, somebody from the ultra-right Hindu nationalists like Dr. Togadia, or whether, there are other forces in Korea and others who whip up following based on some religious entity and marshal people and have uniforms and the Muslim Brotherhood type of people. Nobody tells them the person in authority is always the authority. The Quran says that we didn't send Muhammad as your leader. He is not your leader. He is your teacher. Quran is very explicit. I sent him as a messenger. No. These are all from Sharia, written hundreds of years after. The first dynasty of Islam was created by the enemies of Muhammad. So, it's up to us to be stupid or not. Basically, that they have to go out and convert everyone to Islam. And as you will notice, hardly anybody does that, but enough people do that as an act of submission to God, as an act of, sometimes they do it out of a sense of duty. It's a duty of every Muslim, and it's commonly held, accepted by all, the duty of every Muslim to give dawah or dawat. It's my duty to tell you, you have to become a Muslim, and you have the right to say no. Then I have the right to make those further judgments, as I explained. If he is rejecting it, should the state of Islam extract jizya from you? If you refuse to pay, what to do? The laws of war in Islam, Sharia Islam, are horrific. They trigger automatic divorce between a husband and wife who are non-Muslim, who are separated on different lines of the act of war. The woman then becomes the property as a concubine, which should be deposited to the state, and then state distributes it to the soldiers, who can have sex with these women after they've had their first menstrual period. It's quite brutal. It's detailed outline in many of the Sharia books. We have to challenge fascism wherever it comes from. And we have to stand up for the right of free speech, no matter how offensive. No matter whose religion is hurt, we have to stand up for that person's right to have an opinion.